Hello, everybody. I'm Will.
And I'm Kristen.
And this is So I'm Watching RuPaul's Drag Race, Season 15, Episode 3.
All queens go to heaven.
Some of them did. So, this was a good episode. Mm-hmm. I am still getting my grasp on each of the queens.
Most of them,
I definitely recognize everybody in the talking heads, and when I'm looking at them in drag, I'm like, yes, I know who this is, but I am still having a hard time calling everyone to mind. And also, we seem to be dismissing ones that I had a grasp on, but...
I agree.
We'll get to it. So... They had, it was a skit, an acting challenge. They were given a prompt, I think. It was... Yeah,
it was like drag queen heaven.
Only one of them seemed to get it.
I'm uncomfy.
We had Anitra, Amethyst, and then Team Leftovers. And Anitra's group was good.
Yeah.
Amethyst and Leftovers were medium to bad.
Yeah.
Anitra's had a actual premise.
Yeah.
It had of all of them, it was going to heaven. Like the others were like plays on or like puns.
Yeah, it was also like, puns, I loved the idea of it being like a tour for like a new dead queen, and then like all the like amenities were really funny, and I don't know, the other two just didn't work for me. And like the Amethyst one was just filthy.
It was, yeah, and I'm not saying that can't be done. It can,
but it was
frequently is
too filthy.
But when when given the prompt of drag queen heaven, I don't know that like facials and anal bleaching.
Maybe I'm just not a facials girl, because I find that not a good look. It's not it for me.
I don't think it was done well, and I think juxtaposing that against Lucy LaDuca's god Dolly Parton. Why are we bringing Dolly Parton into this? I mean, she's like...
Well, also in that...
she's like trampy, but she's not filthy.
And also in that case, why was... God, Dolly Parton, not a bigger part of, like, why didn't we focus on, like, shift it and focus on God,
it was
Dolly Parton?
Lucy was on a much gentler skit than the rest of them were.
For sure.
And I think...
So here's the thing, though, is, like, I'm so indoctrinated to this show now that, like, even the anal bleaching didn't bother me. It was literally the facials, because then it panned back, and poor Bruno was the one having to, like, spray it on Amethyst's face. I don't know. I can't.
It looked like it was like a...
Like lube.
No, like a fleet. Yeah, I don't.
Oh, no, of course it was like, but still, it was that was a bridge too far.
And I'm not Max. I'm not trying to pretend that I'm from season 7. I'm not trying to, heavens. But there was just, it didn't mesh with the tone. Yeah. And I think, and it's very funny because the episode touched on it, but I think putting Sasha in a place of reverence really benefited the first group. And she kind of begrudgingly took it. Yeah. She was sort of like, now. Yeah. Stop saying it that way. They're like, as our elder queen.
As the oldest one in the room.
And, you know, Michelle was being a little withholding at first. Although the way that they film this thing, they frequently deceive you with like the edits and stuff. But
they make me so embarrassed.
It was looking like Michelle was trying to get more from her. Yeah. And again, I get that. Mm-hmm. I get the over the top, the camp and all that. But sometimes it's not called for it. Yeah. I was really nervous that Michelle was going to pull too much.
Me too.
And she didn't. They really met in the middle. Baby! And I'm really impressed with Sasha after these 3 episodes. She absolutely carries herself with Grand Dame energy, but she has this sense of humor that, though not necessary, is extremely welcome, and I think kind of the key to her success.
I agree.
She's not afraid to be goofy or ugly or weird.
Yeah.
And
that was hilarious.
The first time, it was hysterical. And it was one of the ones where I was like, okay, we're starting to get it. But somehow the 4th time she did it, That's a rare.
I was worried it was going to have diminishing returns, but she committed so hard to it every time.
I think it's the kick.
It is like there is a kick in addition, and I also did.
Well, it's a death drop.
Yeah, and I did want to say also that I thought it because of the editing, like you said, I thought it was really interesting that at the end when they were being judged, Michelle was like told her that she was a joy to direct, and I was like, thank you, because I love when there's moments like that, because I'm like, you were being a real bitch to her. Like,
I said withholding. I stand by my.
How we saw, but then to know that it's like that was all.
Well, and I think pairing her with Selena S. Titties, where Selena is very strong, a very strong flavor.
Yeah.
And I think
but toned it down.
I think they mingled.
Yeah.
I think that the tone mingled. And again, the only group that actually seemed to kind of understand, like it was drag queen heaven.
Yeah.
Like the whole that they were getting tipped for doing nothing. That is funny.
It's super funny.
And I don't know. It was really good. The Leftovers, I would need to watch it again because, like I said, I have a hard time. I'm not a good multitasker, and so trying to keep everything straight, my brain gets muddled. I've come around already. 3 episodes in. I've come around on the twins. I think I said it in our reaction. In case you're interested, we do full-length reactions on our Patreon at the $3 tier. You can be a watcher and come watch the show with us.
Sure can.
I said in there that they're fun to pick on.
Yeah.
Like, they're fun to tease. And, again, they're the young and hot ones with the 8 million TikTok followers. Yeah. And so, I mean, what am I? Some troll making a joke at their expense on YouTube? They'll survive.
It's just teasing. Okay. Here's the thing. I think they're actually like a lot sweeter than I assumed they were going to be. And I really felt for Sugar in this episode because the twins got separated in this episode and then they basically were like, go sit in the corner. And I'm like, I don't know. It made me feel really bad.
Which, again, I think was a really, like, yes, I think Sugar probably should work on asserting herself and standing up for herself. Yeah. But also knowing when to shut up is so...
Knowing when to shut up for sure, because that was the issue. But here's my issue, is that out of all of them that were sitting at that table, Sugar is the only one that does skits for a literal living.
I was a little bit like that we should be... And again...
And theirs was the least cohesive and the, like, kind of...
Well, she was the only part that worked.
Yeah, which I think is why she was safe.
Because we were trying to decode it. In a reaction where you were like, so it's drag queen purgatory, but it's her.
But you said it was her heaven.
She's like the straight girl who loves drag and who is annoying. And so I think but it was like a vacation though. So she maybe had a near-death experience and went to drag purgatory where she was making them participate. It was not fully formed.
It was not fully formed because that has promise. That idea has promise. And so, but then, okay, because you were like, no, it's her heaven. And I said, but then it's purgatory for the rest of them? Like, her heaven is drag queen purgatory. It actually is funnier that way. But you're right, it was half-baked, and I did not get the memo that she was a straight girl.
I think she said it very quickly in the beginning.
Okay.
But she was still acting like Sugar.
Yeah.
Like, I think she could have... I don't know.
Yeah.
And you made a good comment when we were watching it where you were like, come on, where's Yes Ann? Where's Yes Ann? And that though that is the first, that is the golden rule of improv, you can say no. Like, you absolutely can. But it was coming off like they were fighting the only person doing anything.
Exactly. So, but that's the thing is, like, now that I fully understand the concept, them not yes-anding actually makes sense, except for the whole concept was not clear enough. So it just felt like they were being hostile to the only person making the skit work.
But also they weren't, and again, I know it wasn't hell. I think it might have been funnier if it was just drag queen hell, because they weren't tortured enough. Like, they were still in a position of power.
Sure.
Like, it was still them sort of belittling her.
Yeah.
So it just didn't...
Yeah, it was not...
I've been studying comedy, and there was just sort of not...
You're right, it was punching down.
Yeah.
It was not punching up. Yeah, I agree.
And,
like, obviously, we all know that straight girl. Mm-hmm. But at the same time...
This song's about me!
Yeah, it's like...
Jolene, this is my song!
It just didn't work for me.
So yeah, I honestly, we had some quintessential backstage Mistress of Malaysia. We're going through it. We get it every year.
Yeah.
It's never not heartbreaking.
It's just awful.
And I do find it I find it interesting the breakdown between every division, between age, between race, between location, like the different roles that religion plays in people's lives and stuff. And I just it was Malaysia was really lamenting, her time in the church. She's a Baptist. Is there a lot of Baptists in Miami? Maybe she didn't grow up in Miami.
There's a lot of Baptists in the South. I'm sure there's some in Miami.
Florida's not the South.
Florida's not the same.
Florida, they were talking about, Bob and Monet were talking about, like, Texas and Florida are not the South. They are entities on their own.
I would consider Texas the South, but it is also its own thing. But also, Florida is upside down. I mean, I don't know. I would imagine there are also still Baptists. And
of course, but it surprised me a little bit.
It would be a more insular community if it were.
I really like Mistress a lot. She is very funny. Yeah. She is very potent. She was giving me Bianca Del Rio in the sense that she really lays it on thick, but she has got a soft, gooey center.
Sure.
And she was starting to rub me the wrong way a little bit in Untucked, where she was sort of policing some of the others.
Poppy, especially.
Not behaviors, but the way that they were coping.
Well, Poppy was like, I'll be fine if I get eliminated tonight. And she was like, well, you should be trying to fight. Like, if you're not going to give 100%.
Like, it's offensive to us that you don't care.
And she was like, I never said that. I'll just be at peace if I leave, which I think is important.
They navigated it well. It ended up not actually.
Well, a couple of the other queens came to her defense, too. Like, I think it was Sugar or Spice was like, I just think it shouldn't be like, this shouldn't ruin your world if you go home.
But no, I appreciate that, the way that sort of navigating the drama.
Yeah.
The guest judge was Maren Morris.
Yep.
Kind of love Maren Morris. She looked great.
She's adorable. I straight up did not know what she looked like, and she's super cute.
I think she's doing another song with Zed, actually. Oh. Because everyone was like, pray for retail workers. Well, that was an interesting, the song in the middle, I think it was Zed. Which DJ? Yeah, go ahead.
Gray, Maren Morris, and Zed.
Yeah. He had the song for a while, and he was having a hard time getting a vocalist. And the way he told the story was almost like he was having a hard time finding someone to give him the time of day, which is weird because he's a big producer. And that's when he thought, I'm going to go check out the country artists because they tend to be open to collaboration with pop.
Yeah.
And it was
also in that song, she doesn't ping as a country vocalist. It's like she's got a really good pop voice too. I like her. I think she's adorable. Yeah.
No, I think she's fantastic.
And I said it in our reaction too, but I love because it makes me like believe that they're actually good people. So it's like her and Casey Musgraves, people like her. It's just like, it's the people who least need to apologize that are always like, I apologize for my community to you. And it's like,
but
you are not the problem.
No, absolutely not. But also
it's sweet.
It's her penance. I mean, it's sort of her way of paying. Like, she's in their space.
Yeah.
And whether or not she subscribes to the world she comes from, she's representing that.
Like,
world.
I know that's where I'm from. I get it. I'm not saying
and
like,
Lucy
you
was very touched.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it.
And especially because she was like, I love that you were like here for my dolly. And I was just like, that's so sweet.
We got Ts Madison. I love Ts Madison. I think that this is going to be very fun having her sit in.
And she had really bold...
I guess she's taking... We have kind of a we usually have the Ross and Carson rotating.
She is now it's Ross, Carson, Ts Madison.
Well, we had I think Nicole Byer like 2 years ago, and then we had or Lonnie Love 2 years ago, and then Nicole Byer they were swapping out. So I think Ts Madison is taking
Lonnie Love was good
because that was with Utica's with the whale.
Yeah,
you're the one bombing.
Yeah.
Utica's doing great. She's prancing around the UK with Joey J.
All right.
Joey J.
Oh yeah.
I think Joey's cute. And then Rue, very, very classic, very Marilyn, and beautiful.
The gold, yeah.
So
let's wear something crazy next week, Rue.
You say that. And then when she does, you're gonna be like, go back to the.
I'm just gonna think it's ugly. I'm not gonna think it's boring.
You like a lot of her.
I do like some of the more avant-garde stuff. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The runway was gold something or other. We miss it every year or every episode.
Let's see if she says it. Metallica.
Okay. All great.
Yeah.
But I'm having that thing, and maybe it's a combination of the runway lighting, which I mean is professional lighting, but still, maybe it's a combination of
it's because it's all pink and purple. It doesn't.
The background.
It's too much color, especially on these metallic.
Because I didn't even realize that Lucy's was purple until we were up close. Mm-hmm. Is what I was getting at. Is I was like, I don't know if it was the lighting or the fact that these are back to being the hour-long episodes, which essentially is 42-minute episodes. Yeah. So when you have 16 queens on runway, it's just really condensed.
Yeah.
But I was very more than whelmed, less than overwhelmed. I was like, this is nice.
Yeah.
And then in Untucked, I was like, ooh. Mm-hmm. Something about it.
Because the light backstage is just white.
And again, I think that this is fantastic runway lighting, but maybe not for showcasing. I don't know.
And I think specifically not for metallic.
So I don't know why I'm apologizing for my own expertise. So let's get into this runway. Okay, I like this a lot. I love her mug.
Yeah, sure.
As the kids call it. Like the wig. I like that she keeps us on her toes with the wigs a little bit. Because she's done short a couple times, but not enough to prompt saying something yet.
When she into the workroom, there was no wig. It was that headpiece. And then she wore a headpiece with a long wig in her runway for the first one. I think my favorite part about this one is the coat. And the rest is kind of whelming to me.
Yeah, it feels very akin to her runway last week to me.
It's very bodysuit with something flowy.
And so I would like to see a little bit more. Oh, God, these earrings are amazing. Yeah. She still gives me frontrunner energy, like or part of the group. That group. I'm a fan. Is it a Nitra or a Netra? A Nitra.
I think it's a Nitra.
Okay. Gorgeous.
This is amazing.
Gorgeous.
See, but you see how it looks purple because the lights are on her, but it's not. It's straight up silver.
Well, it makes it blend in a little bit.
Exactly, which it doesn't let them pop.
Weirdly, I think one of the best things she did is the contact lenses. I think they allowed her. I don't know. It made her face stand out.
This is a swing.
It is a swing.
Yeah. I love that she's like a lamppost.
I mean, it's hideous.
Yeah.
It is hideous, but I do like that it is something.
And it is in her aesthetic and her style, the Selena S. Titty style. I want something
just
from her.
40s glamour. Just some kind of
something.
I can't figure out what's going on with the wig because it's like a choppy bob, but then it's long, and I want to say that they're like linked in, maybe? I mean, yeah, it's long. I was like, I'm not making that up.
I don't know. That is weird.
It's like that one wig that little Kim wore during the Lady Marmalade days.
Yeah.
Do you remember?
Yeah,
That's kind of...
sure do. This is stunning.
Luxe shot up there for me.
Yeah.
This is gorgeous. Like, literally, I was like, oh, Simone's here.
It's beautiful.
It looks like that fabric that's almost lighter than air. Remember Lily Reinhart wore it that one time? Gorgeous. And then the wig, the makeup, in my opinion...
I think her makeup this week is an improvement over last week, for sure.
She didn't miss.
Yeah, it's really beautiful. And there's like a structure to the bodice of it.
I love this.
I'm obsessed.
I think it suits Marsha, her character. Because people were giving her a hard time that both of her looks last week, her entrance look and her runway look, were similar. Two of the same. Which, absolutely. But I think this suits her look. The fact that Wizard of Oz, I think, suits Marsha. But then also her take on it. Because it's a little bit Oktoberfest.
Yeah.
Like, it's sort of like...
Also, again, when you get backstage, it's more like coppery than it is Tin Man.
And patinaed and tarnished. Yeah. And I like that it's not like it very much is the MGM musical, but it's like its own version.
One might even call it a drag version. I think it's good.
I love the silver hair.
Yep.
I really like Marcia. I think she's pretty. Apparently, she doesn't put makeup on, is the scuttlebutt. I mean, she's not to the gods.
Yeah, but it suits her style. I think that's what's important. It would not suit the rest of her style if she started coming out here with Trixie Mattel makeup. That would not suit.
I don't think that that's what they want, because she does have this teeny little smear of silver on her nose. But again, it's so
cute. It works.
I'm into it. I'm really into it.
I don't think this is the direction all drag queens need to start taking, but it works for what she's doing, and I think that should be what's important.
Her performance art was really in, too.
Yeah.
Her posing. I loved it.
Yeah.
This was gorgeous.
This was really beautiful as well.
And it's the cape, the cloak.
Mm-hmm. And the hair, with the gold in the hair.
It looks like this Barbie from like 2000. It was like Morning Sun Barbie or something. But because you even made a comment during our reaction about the lame, and I was like, famously a cheap, tacky fabric. Yeah. And this doesn't look cheap.
No, sometimes it doesn't.
Oh, I know. But I think she did a lot with it. The gold in her hair. Mm-hmm. But there's also like pink and blue. Yeah. I guess it's the amethyst.
The lights.
I think it's there. Poppy was also there.
Yeah, it's just the same silhouette as her first two looks, and I think that was a mistake.
I think the wig, it totally works, but I think the wig takes it in more of a clownish direction, less of a fashion direction.
I see that.
And it's not even that it's a bad wig, but it just gives me... There's a sleekness. It's very R2-D2.
Yeah.
And then
literally what it's a slutty R2-D2.
Oh. But then the poofy drag wig doesn't work for me.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Because it could almost be what are they in Austin Powers? The
Fembot?
The fembots, but it doesn't quite do that either.
If she had like a what are they, the pussycat wigs and like a swoop, like a metallic like
something.
Yeah, that's
I also just like a skirt.
Or like or like
gauntlets. Yeah. Could have done slutty Wonder Woman.
This is great. It kind of I'm having
Judy Jetson Hooker fantasy is a sentence I did not anticipate.
My issue that I'm having with the twins so far is all of their things are blurring together for me.
Yeah.
Like obviously this
with
is...
each other and with themselves.
This is obviously aqua, and that's not the color that it was last week. Mm-hmm. But it's just sort of all kind of looking the same. Mm-hmm. Very good. I mean, very well. And I frankly, because to me, the wig is... The wig and then the dog are what stood out for me with this one.
They do love the anime space buns. They've both been doing that a lot. This is fun.
It is. It's gorgeous. But I think there's something... Well, that's funny. I missed her kind of Rita Repulsa face going on. There's something with Aura that isn't fully connecting for me.
I buy that. This also, for me, it was sort of like even more unhinged Poison Ivy. Is kind of what it was doing, but I like it. I just I'm fine with her being safe because it wasn't anything extra special for me.
I like her performance. This is great. This is great, and it warmed on me. The further down she got, down the runway she got, the more I liked it. And I don't know that's the wig I would have done, but
I think it works.
By the time she was there. But I think giving the kind of the purpley, pinky fuchsia, I guess, with the gold, but the gold also has a holographic green undertone. Yeah,
it's one of the more unique ones as well.
It's very that late 90s face that they gave Tomorrowland in Magic Kingdom when they brought in Alien Encounter and I really I like that.
I did.
When she explained it, when she explained it was Jax from Mortal Kombat, I liked it, I got it, but there is a disconnect for me with the head and then the head down. Do I maybe wish she had been bald? Because Makad was.
Yeah, in the new one. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. It's because it's like, there's like camo in there. It's also like the drabbest of all of them. And like the metallic isn't as shiny either. So it does not stand out in the crowd for me. This is fun too.
Yeah, it's very good. Very good.
Melanated warrior goddess. I love that.
She likes the rings.
Yeah. And I like them all in the hair. I think it's clever. This sort of missed me. I do like it, and I especially like the really big shoulders, but it's not, something's not 100% for me.
I like it. I like the big shoulders. I like the big chain.
The big chain's very good.
Huge chain. I like Mistress.
Yeah,
there's something about her that she really, it's not, she gives me pro. She gives me big pro energy.
Okay.
And maybe I wish there was a little texture or something in the dress, but
maybe. I think she looks like Xenon.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Again, very, very good. Very good.
That was hilarious, too. I would love to see them. I guess they kind of did with the Disney princesses. I was like, I would love to see them just serve like glam.
Mm-hmm, they did.
Yeah. I'm really in love with this from the front.
Yeah.
I think I wish that the chains and the bodice extended all the way around. Maybe, but I do, and I think the wig is really fantastic with it too.
Like it was like an actual piece, like an
like
actual
all the
corset,
way around, yeah.
And not just
in the front, like a chest piece or like a breastplate.
But I think she did. We talk a lot about how it's a little bit of an uphill battle for the bigger girls.
Yeah.
And I think the bigger girls are really putting in a good fight.
I agree. Yeah.
And then it was
Sasha Colby.
Sasha won.
Sasha Colby won.
5K.
Yeah, and Princess Poppy went home.
I get it.
Lip syncing against Amethyst again.
Yeah, Amethyst is pretty.
Yeah.
Dejected, deflected, defeated.
Yeah.
But Poppy is a little bit of an anomaly to me because, well, she had a really good spirit, a really good sense of humor, as did Irene last week.
Yeah.
And it took her saying that I bill myself as a comedy queen. And I was sort of like, oh, right, she did say that.
Yeah.
That does not register. And then she proceeded to crack me up the whole rest of the episode.
After she was eliminated.
I don't know if maybe it's because now she, I think, is deadpan. Maybe because she's so kind of
straightforward.
But I did find her very funny once she wasn't competing for attention.
Yeah.
And so there haven't been super obvious weak links.
Not yet. Well, to me, there have been sort of obvious weak links that haven't gone home. So I don't know. I don't know. We'll see.
I think that's good for me for this week. So
yeah, pretty good episode. We got Snatch Game already next week.
Double Snatch Game.
2 sets of Snatch Game. So we'll have to see about that.
Well.
Yeah. All right.
Okay. Well, like we said, I think if you want to watch along with us, you can head on over to our Patreon and like and subscribe and comment. And hopefully we'll see you back next week.
Baby!